Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Average Movie Review Podcast. I hope you're doing well. Today, we are going to be reviewing episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Andor, which has become I think, Star Wars classic from season 1. Cassian Andor, played by Diego Luna, is now probably one of the most, I think, famous and beloved Star Wars characters in a long time. That's not really like a Jedi, but he will be remembered for generations to come. And so will Stellan Skarsgård's Luthen, to be quite honest, especially with that one amazing speech in season 1. Before we begin, I thought maybe we can just do a quick recap of season 1 and what the show is about. Andor is basically the story of Cassian Andor and how he became a rebel fighter and joined in Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Rogue One, which became a Star Wars classic somehow, given the fact that this movie was just a random film. It's like a midquel, I think. It's right after the prequels and right before the sequels. It's right between 4 and 5. Sorry, 3 and 4. And honestly, when you watch this movie, you're not. I guess like I don't know how to explain it. You're not really sure what you're watching, and then you see the film, and then it turns out to be one of the best films. They gave us some amazing characters and also one of the best fight scenes of for Vader, really, or like one of the best hallway fight scenes, I guess, of Vader. Once again, cementing him as probably the galaxy's most feared villain ever. And then tying it in perfectly with episode 4, the beginning of episode 4. So, you know, and then from there bloomed this series, Cassian Andor, right, played by Diego Luna. And that series, season 1, was focused on Cassian's story, like who he is, how he became who he is, and all of that. And you watch it and you see that this guy wasn't the hero that we know him to be from, Rogue One. He turns out to be kind of like a selfish guy, right? Just looking for a way out, doesn't really care about anything. And then slowly he learns as he goes through some of the missions that he pulls and like some of the life decisions that he makes, that he realizes how important this rebellion really is and how important it is to do good, right? And his mother, who ends up passing away in the series, not his mother, but like his adopted mother, I guess, teaches him that, and he finds a reason to fight, right? And you know, one of the best parts of season 1, I think, is just the growth of his character and how you know, how he becomes who he is, right, and where he's going to go now. His understanding. This is not really an action-packed show. There obviously is some action here and there, but it's not really action-packed. But what I love about this show, or season 1, was the dialogue and the way that they created this amazing universe in that sense, right? Like giving us a look into the Star Wars universe and the acting, the way the story is being told, right? A lot of it is through, like, a lot of the action is through dialogue, right? The tenseness of how people speak to each other, how they're, Luthen, Mon Mothra, who is played by, what's her name here? Where is she? Oh, Oh, there we go. Genevieve O'Reilly, who's played Mon Mothma, and Mon Mothma. Wow, that was a very tough name to say sometimes. Mon Mothma, and she does a wonderful job playing her as well, right? Um, and how her and both Luthen are hiding their identities, as they are pretty much what seems to be the beginning of the Rebel Alliance, or like the hidden part of the Rebel Alliance, the people that some people never know about, right? Like, I guess they're the insiders, the deceivers within the Empire, and they do their character so much justice. And then another two that I want to point out is Denise Goff, I guess, who plays Deidre, and Kyle Solar, who plays Serial Karn. I hate both of them, absolutely hate them, and they do such a good job playing their roles. So kudos to them for being No, I'm so sorry. Being the villains that they are, amazing, amazing job. But yeah, so basically that's pretty much it. It's kind of season one is kind of like the beginning of the rebellion. Also, Cassian's Andor story of how he became who he is, who plays the key parts to the rebellion, what their goal is, and all of that. And they do such a wonderful job, and it ends in not really a cliffhanger, but like an open-ended story where anything could happen, I guess, right? And I'm glad that they're doing a season two, and I believe this will be the only season for this series because I think it just ties right into Rogue One right after. So tapping into episode one, two, and three again, these are spoiler filled. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it and come back. Or if you don't care, just listen to the review. I want to say it starts off really good. Again, this show is not an action packed show. It does not need action. What it is, it's more of a story driven show, and it does such a good job at it. Some of the key points that I wanted to highlight in episode one that I loved. Was the four different scenarios happening all at the same time with the wedding that's happening, Cassian being captured by those rebels who are actually rebels but don't know that they're rebels, and then also is it not Luthen's situation? Oh, the meeting that's happening in the Empire with everything, and then their decision to go after Gorman for the planet's resources, and then also what's happening with Bix, who's played by Adriana Ajorna. I think that's how you say her name. Let me just double check. Adria Arjorna. Again, amazing, amazing actress, does it so well. And then you've also got Brasso, who's played by Joplin Siptane, who's also really, really good as well. Um, I love that they kept showing what's happening in those four areas all at the same time. And I think what was really awesome for me was the two specific moments, or two specific scenarios that were playing out. Was the one with the Rebel Alliance trying to fight, like they're fighting and discussing and trying to figure out if Cassian is a spy, is a true Empire pilot, or is he telling the truth, right? And the chaos that ensues with the rebels, while the Empire is sitting in a nice little area and they're trying to deliberate, but they're also having tension between amongst each other, right? Trying to decide how they want to take over Gorman and how they want to, I guess, peacefully destroy this planet without destroying it, like without making it seem like they've done anything wrong, right? So like the politics involved in that is just, it's a beautiful little parallel that you see, like where the Empire just, and this is like, I guess, like trying to show this like peak empire, like they have everything under control, they have everything they've ever wanted, they're running this smooth operation, right? And then you see the Rebel Alliance just growing for the first time, kind of being being molded. Is like these guys have no idea what they're doing, they're completely lost, they've got nothing, right? Like they're bickering with each other when they should be bickering against the enemy or fighting against an enemy and coming together, but they can't even be with each other. So beautiful, beautiful little parallel there. um I I enjoyed the wedding process and everything, the tension there too with Mon Mothra, and then you also have Luthen there, and then Tay and everyone. There's so much tension happening there, right? And then you find out in like episode two, like Tay is kind of, he's not a betrayer, but he's more so like I guess like he's not betraying them, but he's also blackmailing them in that sense, and he wants more. And you can see Mon is like, I guess, shocked but also confused, and she also doesn't want her daughter to get married. There's a moment where she sees her daughter crying and she goes and she tells her she's sorry, and the sacrifice that her daughter is having to make for the rebellion without even knowing that she's making a sacrifice for the rebellion is pretty crazy when you think about it. And as a mother, it must be really tough to go through something like that, right? To put your child through something like that without even telling them. And for her, it's not an easy task to do. Episode two was also pretty good as well. It was a bit of a continuation of um, what was happening. We got to see Bix a little bit more, where they are, what they're doing, what their story is. They're in a whole different planet trying to survive. there, and we got to see Cyril and Deidre together, which was a very odd couple, but it made a lot of sense, and I completely understand why they work. So kudos to them for bringing those two together. Very brilliant idea. And then Cass pretty much escaping and, trying to find out where, his family is and what's going on and all of that. Episode 3, um, again, the wedding date, more tension, more problems rising, more issues, if I'm being honest. Uh, Pretty crazy stuff that's happening. I think episode 2 is when Cass escapes, not episode 3. Sorry, I think it's episode 2 where he escapes at the end. And then episode 3, what I loved about was, I think, the after the wedding scene, the dance, like Mon losing her mind and Luthen kind of hinting at her that she needs to go into, I guess she needs to go kind of not undercover, but like she needs to lay low right now because things are getting hectic and he's gonna have to take care of a few things. Luthen is, again, he's at a loss. He doesn't know where Cassian is. Cassian going back to the planet where Bix is hell or hiding, and then going there, and then unfortunately we lose Brasso in the process, which kind of sucks. But Cassian had no choice, right? And you see a massive difference, right? Like older Cassian probably wouldn't have gone back, but the newer Cassian is, and in all honesty, this is the only thing he has left of his mother, right? This is his family. These people are his family. Will, Bix, Brasso, these guys are pretty much everything. Even the little robot Beamix, right? Like these guys are his family, and they're gonna lose, like, they have nothing else but him as well, so he needs to go and protect them too, right? He disobeyed direct orders and went back right to the planet and picked them up, unfortunately losing Brasso, and you can see the pain in his eyes. Again, Diego Luna does such a good job portraying that as well. Like, his acting is just on point. Kudos to that man. So far, so good. I would rate these episodes a solid 8 out of 10 for each of them. I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. I love the tension, the politics that's happening, every little thing that's going on. The one other highlight of episode 1 is when Mon sees Luthen, and then she walks down from, like, I guess, like the garden or whatever she is. And I love the way that they directed that scene where the camera follows her all the way down the stairs to everything, meeting all those random people, seeing all those people, and then like going through it. It was just beautifully done. It was just, imagery was amazing. Oh, another thing I want to do is CGI is on point. I don't know how much they shot on scene or like on location, whatever, but CGI is amazing. So kudos to them for that as well. Great job on that part. Um, but yeah, it's building up to something big. You can tell, right? Like, the Rebel Alliance is growing, and there's going to be issues. There's going to be problems, and these are the problems that they have to solve. And every move that they make is another move, pretty much closer to them being caught. So the stakes are getting higher and higher, and I'm excited to see what we have in store for the rest of the season. So great start. Let's see where it goes. And yeah, so let me know what you guys think. How are you liking it? How is everything? Do you think it could be better? Do you think it could be worse? Like, what's going on in your brains as well? So let me know, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Talk to you soon, guys.